Video games in some capacity have always been a part of my life. I remember as a kid my cousin and I booting up Super Mario World, and we'd play for hours trying to beat every single stage. Picking up that controller every time, we felt as if we were the plumbers from the Mushroom Kingdom, and ultimately to kick some Bowser butt and rescue Princess Peach. These days, gaming still has a huge impact on me. If I had to choose between homework or games, I'd probably choose video games. I love games because for a moment I'm transported to a different world and being engulfed in the politics of that environment. These alternate realities replace the real because let's face it, real really ain't that interesting. This is what's known as hyperreality, where the signs and symbols of the real become real. In this video, we're going to take a tiny dive into the role of hyperreality and how it manifests in video games. The hyperreal establishes itself in two ways: simulacra and simulation. Let's start with simulation. Think of simulation as the game itself. Whenever we load up a game, we're essentially agreeing to the terms of service. Agency becomes myth, and we're restricted to the rules by that world. And these rules can be as simple as jump, duck, turn, or they can require more extensive actions such as trading, farming, fighting. This doesn't necessarily mean that the more options you have, the more real it becomes. The hyperreal draws you in much simpler ways. With music, color, motion, rewards. But for gaming, what truly makes something hyperreal is the simulacra and the connection to the player. A simulacrum is the avatar to represent the player in the game. Believe it or not, every game has a simulacrum. Yes, even Tetris. Sometimes that avatar has its own personality and is identified by design, how it interacts with other characters, and how it interacts in the world itself. For this type of simulacrum, story is crucial in the game. Through story, there's a type of relationship that builds between the player and the avatar. And it's intentional. Story creates purpose. The more you invest in your avatar, the more emotionally connected you become. Whatever happens to them is now your concern.
So I was out of ammo, but I took out the sniper with my handgun. Then I went into the convenience store, took out the two guys there, disengaged their turret, picked up double shotties, went to the embassy, took out 3 there, called in the airstrike dude. I killed like 6 of them. It was nuts. I totally got promoted after that.
Something I've observed is the gray area between player actions versus character actions. The actions of an avatar rely heavily on player manipulation, but the avatar is capable of actions because it's written into their code. Yet, we claim those actions as our own. To the player, the controller is an extension of themselves. It makes extraordinary tasks achievable. For the game, it uses us, the player, as a tool to stay alive. It's really hard to discern who's responsible for what or who's in control of what. Games now meld into reality more than ever. We have augmented, virtual, and mixed reality devices right at consumers' fingertips. Pokemon Go made it possible for everyone to become their own Pokemon trainer right from their phone. There are so many more games trying to give us a quality experience. I think gaming is the ultimate medium because it demands active participation. For a movie you watch, for a book you read, but gaming, there's a sense of doing. It requires puzzle solving, and the only way to advance on is to figure it out. And it can be so rewarding when you do. The goal of a game for you is to play it, but on the flip side, the goal for a game is to play you. It becomes alive, and you the tool. It remains alive even when not being played. It demands your attention, and most importantly, it demands your consciousness, and will do whatever it can to keep itself there. The question is, will you continue?